Hello and welcome to White Boy Indie Music Hour. I'm your host, White Guy. Today, we're talking about the wonderful Edmonton, Alberta's finest, Mac DeMarco. More specifically, the man behind the music. And more specifically than that, the man who was interviewed about the music. We're taking a look at Mac DeMarco's interviews today. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of good ones, some less good. That's why we're ranking them, and this is going to be comprehensive. We're going to hold no punches. We're just going to do it, and we're not going to make any friends here. Why I'm uniquely qualified. I've got a cuff in my pants. I've got a stash above my lips, and I've got a song in my heart. And that what song is that, you may be asking? Joke's taking so long. What song is that, you may be asking? It's 2020 12/31. Okay, anyway. With that out of the way, let's get into it. So, first up, we have the very controversial figure of the Adam Friedland show. So, the Adam Friedland show interview, initially, I was not a fan of this one. I found Adam's sort of edgy, kind of gotcha humor to be kind of grating.
So you made cigs popular with kids? My girlfriend was saying this.
Yeah.
She was saying that the brand of cig you smoked.
Here's the thing.
Kids in her high school were buying.
Where'd she go to high school?
In New York City.
Well, you can't buy the brand of cigs that I smoked in New York City, so that's a flat-out lie.
But in revisiting it last night, I found to appreciate it a little more for this reason, because it shows how good this era of Mac DeMarco interview is, where he's not rehashing the same things over and over again. More than anything, he's a storyteller. Mac is a storyteller, and he's a conversationalist. And a good one at that. He's always got something to say. It's always interesting. Appreciate the stuff about Michael McDonald. We're going to put that in maybe A tier. I think before revisiting it, it would have been B or lower. But, you know, it's just so good. Nardwuar, I think, is safely... Nardwuar is interesting. I might end up bumping this up, but I'm going to throw that in B, and here's why. His interview is very good, but it's very low energy, and that's okay. He's allowed to be. That's kind of his whole vibe. But upon learning about the Nardwuar interview from the Adam Friedland show, he gives the artist stuff, right? But sometimes he takes it back, which kind of breaks my heart a little bit, because in my head it's like, oh, this artist is getting all of these gifts. So I felt like the wool was being pulled from under my eyes. But yeah, we're gonna throw Nardwuar in B. I think that's a good place for him. Up next, we have Mac DeMarco at BDE interview. I don't know what BDE is, but I love this man, and I think that this is probably gonna go in A, just because of how good it is.
Okay, bananas, infrastructure. What do you know about the infrastructure in Los Angeles? I know you're big on infrastructure. You've been creating infrastructure. You own infrastructure. House is an infrastructure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
I guess so.
Don't look at me like that.
No, I guess so. Yeah. Well,
Look me in the eyes real quick.
I'll say this about infrastructure.
It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat it. Another example of a short but sweet man, a short but sweet interview, talking to a man about just infrastructure. The Stratocaster. So he did like an ad for Fender, and it was actually a very sweet sort of interview. He's obviously promoting, Fender and their guitars and stuff. But he gets a call in the middle of it, and he's so sweet about it. He's so funny about it.
My fault.
Respect. Is that your phone?
That is my phone, yeah. Biggest faux pas in the biz, eh?
Shit.
Yeah. She wants my PayPal password to do my taxes. Not today. Yeah, not today.
But for the ad placement, I don't want to give Fender too much credit. We're gonna throw that in C tier. That's one fun piece in like a fairly standard, kind of examination. The over-under interview with Mac is interesting. He brings up a good point about microbrews. Let's just, refresh my memory a little bit. You know what? This interview is fun. I remember this. When was this? 9 years ago for Pitchfork? That's fun. And you know what? That can go up there. I think that's a solid one. It does something new. It's not rehashing the same sort of things that we know about the man, and he's got some great insight on black lipstick and threesomes. Okay, up next we got Hot Ones. I think Hot Ones, it's okay. It's pretty good. Sean Evans is fine. He eats all the wings. He cleans them out. And apparently that's not a normal thing on there. He was talking about that on the Adam Friedland one. I think that's more of a testament to how good that interview is because of how casual and, unstructured it is. In it being like not the greatest interview, it's like one of my favorites because it's more free form and exciting and it's something we haven't seen 100 times. So I'm gonna put that in C. I think that's safely C. That's kind of middle of the road. Like, yeah, that's an okay interview, but it's nothing exceptional. The Enemy one. Okay, so there's something to this era, the Max record label kind of era, of him being more open post COVID. He talks about this in the Kerwin Frost interview, about being more open with discussing things and not just putting on the same sort of interview facade where he's like, oh, well, this and that and whatever, and so for that reason, I think that it could go into B. I'm gonna make it like a high C. Let's rearrange that actually. Yeah, I think that's a good C. I might end up bumping that up a little bit, but we'll see. I think this is The Richest Bum, and that's an okay interview for Rolling Stone. Yeah, it just feels kind of bog standard. It feels kind of like something that you'd show to your mom. It's like, who's this Mac DeMarco guy? There's some good moments in there, but I think that's going to be another high C. We got to keep our upper levels kind of free. There's a lot here. Oh, let's go for this one. So I found this one in it was like a compilation of funny moments, but it was from an actual like news sort of organization. Who was this? It's the Polaris Prize people. I don't know Nick Flanagan or anything he's done, but he's a good interviewer. I think he gets a lot of fun moments. He's good at sort of improv, but I feel like with this interview in particular, you can really tell that the host is trying to sort of hold the reins, which I guess is what they're supposed to do, but in a way that I don't think is the best out of the crop here. And it's a fine interview, and there's a very funny moment where he's talking about the hip new vegetable that I think about all the time.
I've had conversations with people where they're like discussing which vegetable is going to be like the new cool vegetable.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would anyone want to talk about that?
That's a great little Mac moment, but for that reason, I think that's gonna be it might be our first D. Even though I love that moment, I think that's going to be a D. And I think it goes without saying that all of these interviews are very fun and I love them, but we got to put them head to head. This is comprehensive. We are holding no punches here, okay? Yeah, Mac DeMarco in an uncomfortable interview. This one I hadn't seen before. This wasn't one that I revisited as a longtime Mac head, but it was good. It's funny. It's probably one of the old interviews where he's at his peak of comfort, sandwiched between two men while it was kind of, that interview is kind of forgettable aside from the whole concept of it being an uncomfortable interview. They talk about dating and stuff. and that's fun. I'd say that's C. I'd put that above Hot Ones though, because I like the concept, and I think that the guys aren't tools or anything about it. But surviving as an indie artist in a digital age, I feel like this interview sort of spawned the interest around One Wayne G and all of those demos. What I think is so great about it is that it is a press interview. It's sort of an elevated one in that way, because we get to the nitty gritty. We see his little shave me game, and I think that's special. So I think that's gonna go in B tier. I think that's above over under. What's in my bag is good. It's it's all right. We got some good insights into the man. I feel like that's probably D though. It's not my favorite. Let's pick it up though. Kerwin Frost talks to Mac DeMarco is obviously going to go in S tier. Every time I listen to this, it's just unbridled joy. Kerwin has an interview skill unlike any other interviewer I've ever seen. This morning I watched the Tyler the Creator interview, and I was just I was just shocked by how comfortable he's able to be with his interviewees, and by how sort of joyful and just comfortable he's able to get something that other interviewers don't, and his video style is impeccable, and you get a nice little sing along at the end. I was folding laundry and I was singing along, and it was great. What I like about Kerwin is that he sort of tells it like it is. He's talking about Fantano, and he's talking about the terrible Logic songs that used some demos that Mac DeMarco sent him. Yeah, I think that this interview is sort of what every other interview is compared to, and what it's looking like now is like a lot of new ones at the top and a lot of old ones at the bottom. We'll see how that changes, but so the Anything Goes with Emma Chamberlain. It's a fun one, but I think that's going to go in lower B tier because it's not the most insightful thing in the world. It's kind of forgettable. I think Emma Chamberlain is a fine interviewer, and I think she does a good job of, again, keeping that casual nature, and this is sort of the best era for Mac heads, for us Mac heads who are obsessed with his interviews. He's putting his Mac OC into it. The Making of Another One. This one like barely counts. It's more of a like sort of documentary thing, but you do get these kind of like unique insights. I think this is like the perfect insight into what his essence is as an artist. And for that reason, I think I'm going to put it in A. And by putting this on this list, it kind of opens up a can of worms of what is an interview. But I had to throw that one in. It's a great time. The Pink Room. It's a good interview. I enjoyed it when it came out. Who hosts the Pink Room? I can't remember. Ashkenazi. Okay, she's great. It's a good interview, but I can't shake how much of it is kind of sullied by how sad the pandemic was. But I think that's sort of a high B. We're gonna put that above Nardwuar. String Theory is good because it's an ad, but you just get to see him kind of jam out, and that's kind of fun. So, that's it's nothing crazy. It's not even really an interview. It's kind of more of an ad than anything else. But I'm gonna throw that above the Stratocaster one. I think that's appropriate. Video Mac DeMarco nerds out about music gear. So this one I really liked at the time that I watched it because it's kind of about getting into music and understanding how much of it comes down to like 4-track recordings and stuff, and hearing him talk about vibrato and chorus was kind of unlocked, I think, a lot of people's impulse to replicate his style. And it just kind of instilled in me a love and an appreciation for like effects and pedals and stuff. So for that reason, I think that'll be probably a B, honestly. That's kind of a low B. But I like that one a lot. So Mac DeMarco Goes Along on 200 song album or whatever. It's pretty good. It's another one of these kind of rehashing of you know what? Enemy is gonna go up, and we're gonna put this one in C, top C. Yeah, that feels right. So what do we got next? Confessions. Yeah, you know, this one it's all right, but it's just, I think it's representative of a period of Mac DeMarco 9 years ago. You know, that's like, this is sort of the sheen that most people would associate the man with. It's nothing revolutionary, and for that reason, I think it'll be, I'm thinking C or D, but I think D. Honestly, it's just the questions are interesting, I guess, but it's just kind of like surface level, like he likes Star Wars, you know. Rare early Mac DeMarco interview.
Did you say captured tracks in French there?
No, I just have a bad accent, I guess. Captured tracks.
When you said captured tracks, and then you said something in French, right?
Yeah, it was his title, because he's the programmation director. Whatever.
How would you say captured tracks in French, though?
Chanson capturée.
Chanson capturée.
As I told you on Facebook, like one of the concepts of the show is to ask like some people we like, artists that we like, what they listen to while they're having sex or during foreplay or whatever. Or let's say if you could be like the DJ to like our listeners' sex or romantic moments, what would you play exactly?
Well, what happens with me actually is like I've tried to have sex listening to music. I tried to listen to "Off the Wall" by Michael Jackson once, but it was like the beat's like too strong in it. I guess it's not like smooth enough. So it was kind of like I would start like kind of like grooving to it, and like my girlfriend got really like angry at me when I was doing it. So I probably shouldn't listen to like funky dance music when I'm trying to have sex. Maybe like if I was choosing something that would work better, probably like some real smooth like
Sade.
Sade? I don't know who that is, but maybe.
All right, Smooth Operator.
Oh, yeah, Smooth Operator would be a great song to bone to. That'd be so sweet. Or like Remy Shand. You know Remy Shand? Take a message from my love. Take a message.
Okay, this interview is great. I love that. I love this interviewer, whoever this is. She's awesome. That's gonna be an A for me. That's great. Okay, we're kind of breaking the curse of the old things being bad and the new ones being good. That's really great. I can't wait to listen to more of that. That's amazing. Let's see what else we got. The Rex Orange County one. So I haven't listened to this one yet.
Maker's Mark, bourbon, or mac and cheese.
What is that? Alcohol?
Yeah, it's like whiskey or something like that.
Probably mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Wow, that's hard-hitting journalism. Okay, it's a casual chat. It's not good. I didn't give it much of a chance. That's gonna go in bottom of D tier, mostly because Rex Orange County. I feel like he had a controversy, and I don't really care about his music very much. Okay, so Variety is mad at me because I have ad block, but I guess the charges were dropped for the sexual assault allegations. Still, I don't really care about it, so I think it's going to go bottom of D regardless of whether he's a sex pest or whatever. Evening with Mac DeMarco. So this one is nice because it's actually about his music, and there's only one question in here about like fast food, which is fun. There's stuff about, Tyler. And I think that's cool. Maybe bottom of B kind of thing, I think that's appropriate. And then last, I think we have another Rolling Stone. The Indie Rock Dream. Okay, this one's good. I remember the sort of insights into his writing process. So it's like kind of a song a day. And then when he's done he's done, when he doesn't have any more ideas. I think that's really interesting. So I think that one's gonna go in maybe mid, just below Anything Goes with Emma Chamberlain, I think. Yeah. No, I think that's it's gonna go in between here, below Enemy. I guess that's the tier list. Maybe I'll mess around with this a little more, but I think that this is kind of my final roundup. And so what I'll do now is I'll just go through the list and we'll see if it holds water. So in S tier, we've got Kerwin Frost talks. If you have learned nothing from this video, it's that you should just go throw that on and fold some laundry. It's a great interview. I think even if you're not the biggest Mac DeMarco fan, you could probably get something out of it just from hearing him talk about, quitting drinking and smoking and shit like that. Yeah, it's a good time. And Kerwin is like probably the most unique interviewer I've ever seen. So he needs more fans, more attention. Yeah, I like to shout out the smaller creators. I like to give some credit to the little guys. Adam Friedland, yeah, it's not for everyone. It's up there for me. I think it's probably a little bit of recency bias. I think I'm gonna put this guy up here. That just kind of feels right. Yeah, he just has this sort of, he exudes so much confidence that it's just kind of infectious, and Mac's a good match for that kind of energy, and I think that's really fun. A lot of infrastructure talk in that interview, so I would check that one out too. Making of Another One, yeah, that's like kind of that's a seminal, not semen, but seminal interview kind of thing. If you feel like going down the rabbit hole of the man and his music, and this one I think is a gem. So whoever uploaded this one, let's see if I still got it. Dustin Diggs Records. Shout out to him for finding this 2012 interview, because yeah, it's really good. It's a gem. And then we have the Pink Room. This one's kind of fun. I think I'm gonna bump the indie artist in a digital age above it because of the sort of awareness that it brought to Mac's demos. And it brought us, I almost forgot to mention this, it brought us the Mac DeMarco's loss of musical criteria.
I like this. Yeah. Just garbage, but fun to make. Yeah. What else we got? What's this, hippie rip? Similar vibe. Just,
And then the Pink Room, which, it's fun and it's a good interview. They talk about interesting things, but it's just the sadness of COVID kind of bumps it down from being an A. Nardwar, it's good, but maybe you could give him this stuff. Over Under, it's a unique concept, and he's got some great insight. He's a funny guy. Anything Goes is good, very casual. Nerds Out About Music Gear, yeah, great for anyone who wants to rip off his musical style, which is everyone. Enemy is good. I think I'll bump this one above Emma Chamberlain because the sort of casual nature of it is very nice, and he's very frank about going across the states and his father's death and stuff like that, which that's a big part of his sort of music, sort of grieving with his relationship with his father, and that's very tender time. And I'm not even sure why he's so open in that. I think it has to do with the interviewer being so accommodating. So yeah, these two work down here. I think this one could probably be bumped up, but I'm comfortable with it being there. I'm not too crazy about it. The 200 song one, I think it's like the Associated Press or something. It's just fairly, I feel like it's fairly standard. You get kind of the same sort of info from a lot of other interview sources, which is not the greatest. Richest Bum is good. It's fun. But it feels a little, average. And same thing with An Uncomfortable Interview. It's an amusing concept, but it doesn't push it over the edge. For me, Hot Ones, yeah, it's good. Sean's whole thing about like getting into the more nitty gritty questions as the interview goes on is interesting. String theory, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's fun to see him jam, and the Fender one's fun for that phone call little thing. The hip new vegetable, that's like kind of the only nugget in that video that I'm like kind of obsessed with. But you know, it's still very funny. What's in my bag is good, but you know, it's a little flat, a little boring. Confessions is a little cookie cutter, and then the Rex Orange County one is just, you know, I don't really care about him, so it's gonna go in the D tier. But that feels like a good place to call it, I think, and I'm satisfied with that. And hopefully you learned something. If anything, it should be to watch the Kerwin Frost interview if you have any interest in this man whatsoever. With that being said, I think I'm gonna call it here. It's good to be back in the saddle. The saddle being making videos. Been fucking around on GarageBand. It's been good. Thanks for asking. God. I've been reading. I've been live laughing and loving. Okay? And I've been talking to my friends, which is good. Reach out to your friends, not just to make yourself feel better, but to make them feel better, because you know your friends are there for you, no matter what. And take your mental health seriously. This is like a sermon. Make sure you floss your teeth. It's because you probably have gingivitis. Probably, it's very common. So I'm gonna stop talking and allow you to continue to procrastinate on whatever it is you should be working on. So have a great day, and cheers. It's very cold.
Take a message from my love. Take a message. You know that one?